For many Americans, a house of worship is like a second home. Churches, synagogues, and mosques were a particular refuge during the pandemic, places of consolation and encouragement. And church-run institutions like schools and hospitals are indispensable to the health of our nation, enriching our educational system and knitting together a social safety net. I'm Andrea Picciotti-Bayer, Director of the Conscience Project, where we work to safeguard religious liberty and conscience rights. And an important part of that is respect for the proper relationship between church and state. But as you may have noticed, the autonomy of churches and faith-inspired institutions is now relentlessly attacked as the government and its beloved progressive interest groups try to interfere with their work. Fortunately, the Constitution can come to the rescue. The framers of the Constitution understood the critical importance of religious freedom. The First Amendment provides that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. One thing this means is that the government can't treat religion less favorably than other secular activities or institutions, and the Supreme Court continues to reinforce this principle. A perfect example was during the pandemic. The Supreme Court struck down New York and California rules that severely restricted religious gatherings, but allowed people to shop freely. As the court noted in the New York case, even in a pandemic, the Constitution cannot be put away and forgotten. The law also makes clear that the government can't stick its nose into the business of churches and religious schools when it comes to hiring those who are educating young people in the faith. In two cases involving Catholic schools in California, the Supreme Court reaffirmed this important doctrine called the ministerial exception. Those rulings, upholding a proper understanding of the establishment and free exercise clauses, have caused much chagrin among progressives. They really want to force religious schools to hire and keep on staff teachers who refuse to accept the school's religious teaching on human sexuality and the family. Another threat to church autonomy comes from the push to define sex to include gender identity. This push began during the Obama administration. Then the Biden administration tried to weaponize healthcare regulations to force Catholic and other Christian hospitals and doctors to prescribe hormone therapies or perform experimental gender transition surgeries. It even wanted to force insurance companies to pay. Lawsuits brought by religious hospitals, insurers, and doctors have stopped this for now, but don't think this attempt to pervert healthcare is over. Insisting that churches and church-run institutions are treated fairly and can operate consistent with their mission is an urgent challenge for defenders of religious liberty. Because once the government starts encroaching on religious autonomy, it won't stop. Be ready to stand up for your faith, your family, and your freedom. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our other videos.